Alright, good morning, Retrothon. I am MadMegaX381, and I am going to be playing Ghostbusters 2 for the NES. Get started here, and I can talk about the game a little bit. And 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is like any other NES side-scrolling shooting jumping game, except it's not, because everything's backwards. We're running in the wrong direction, and believe me when I tell you that that is not a good start. That's Suicide Slimer, and sometimes no matter what you do, he will get you. So not a great start to the run, but what I was saying before he interrupted me so unkindly is that this game, when you push A, you shoot, and when you push B, you jump. So it is backwards of just about every normal side-scrolling game in the NES library. Now we get to drive Ecto-1. This is a fun little section here. What I did there was I shot a slime ball that's floating above the sky there so that I could get this shield. It's a bit of a safety strat, but it's reliable so that I can line that up to upgrade the slime shot on Ecto-1 from the green to the purple slime, because the purple slime is way more powerful, it moves faster, and since you can only have one slime shot on the screen at any given time, I need that so that I can shoot faster. Now we're kind of flying around here, jumping over pits with Ecto-1, which I remember from the movies. I don't know about everybody else. And that's the first section done with the Ecto-1. I should mention also a couple other random things about this. You play as each of the Ghostbusters in these stages. So far, I've played as Ray Stans. That was in the Van Horn station. This is Winston Zeddemore, which is an interesting choice for this sequence because he was in the courthouse in the movie scene for all of about 15 seconds, but that's how they did it. This is the first big Slimer we see. I can't shoot him with my slime cannon. He's immune to it, so I actually have to drop a trap to pick him up. Interesting thing, traps are dropped by pressing start, so that means that there is no pause in this game. So if you find yourself in the middle of this game and you want to, take a break, tough, you can't. And that's also something that will occasionally happen in this game. You can drive over that second arrow, and it doesn't give you the speed boost, even though you drove over it. Usually there's a pixel that you can line up that's pretty reliable, but sometimes the game is just a jerk and doesn't want to let you do that. So, it's something that should be a power-up. Yep. There we go, got it that time. Okay, that's good. Deaths on the Ecto-1 stages are extremely punishing, at least those deaths into those pits, because you have to start the whole stage over again. They're pretty cruel, because these stages are pretty slow. And luckily we'll be finishing up with Ecto-1 in a second here, and that should be it. Man, the game is being extra trolly this morning. Alright, so now we get to play as Dr. Egon Spengler. Try to not get hit by these things. Weird thing in this game is that... I just got my bell rung. But, the traps can pick up just about anything. So, anything that's moving towards you can be picked up with the trap, which is interesting because they're only supposed to be able to catch ghosts, but they can grab all kinds of, real objects, so that's pretty cool. So what you'll see here is, oh boy, that's I'm gonna wait here a second. So when you shoot the slime, if it lands in front of you, it does not let you walk forward, so you have to jump over it, which is inadvisable with all of this stuff falling around. So I'm gonna take this a little cautious here because I've had a bit of a rough go of it this morning. And now we get into the arcade section of this, which is just hanging out in the Statue of Liberty and shooting ghosts with the torch, and listening to an 8-bit version of Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher. So get to enjoy that, everybody. But so the way that this works, this sequence will take a little while. You can make it go faster if you don't miss things like I just have been. And what you'll do is you'll trigger these bonus rounds. And I probably should have mentioned this a little earlier. These logos that fly around, every 20 of them that you collect, you get a 1-up, which in this game just means that you can get hit again. It's pretty unforgiving overall. So every time you get hit, you lose a life. With the exception of the Statue of Liberty, she can take hits from certain things and not cost a life. So, oh man, they're all concentrated back there. That's pretty rough. Okay, we've had a little bit of bad luck so far here. We would have liked to have seen a book bomb. A tablet bomb, if you will, show up by now, but it has not. So we're hoping that... perfect. Instead, we were able to get an invincibility, which should allow us to take care of this section of ghosts. These guys are pretty rough. It's just a lot easier when you have what I just picked up here, this little bomb thing here. And what that'll do is it basically clears a screen of enemies, and if you use it at the right time, it will clear an entire wave, and that's really helpful for getting out of this without a ton of pain, really. Some of these enemies move very quickly and in weird patterns that are really hard to deal with. Elected to use it there because there's not going to be... It shouldn't need one for the rest of this stage. These guys are pretty easy. You just kind of shoot up and don't move too much and you shouldn't have any trouble. They're just basically raining ghosts. Gotta take him out. Okay, not too bad. Alright, we got another Statue of Liberty stage. I try to use the bomb on this opening screen here. As long as you have 3 of those clouds on the screen at any given time, it'll end that wave, which I like to do because the lightning bolts that they shoot are pretty hard to dodge. These guys are also pretty terrible because sometimes they will spawn right on top of your hitbox and there's nothing you can do, and it just takes one of your lives away. They're pretty cold. They are mean. A lot of things about this game are mean, to be entirely honest, but it's one of my favorite games when I was a kid, because I really loved the Ghostbusters as a kid, and I was willing to put up with a pretty mean and most times not a very fun game. So I never actually beat this game as a kid. The first time I ever beat it was, oh boy, invisible bad guys. This is not good. So we're gonna throw that. And all right, good. I never beat this game as a kid. So for a 12-hour challenge a few months ago, actually maybe more than longer than that, maybe a year or so ago now, I decided to learn this game because it kind of fit with the theme for that particular 12-hour challenge. And the first time I ever beat this game, it was actually the fastest time on speedrun.com. So since then, I've knocked it down to sub 14 is the world record in this game now, and there's plenty of optimization that can still be done here, especially in these stages. to work through this this particular portion of the game, as well as some movement that could probably be cleaned up in the museum stages that starts shortly after. Oh, good, that's a nice pickup, that invincibility. The ghosts that come over there that are kind of like basic, normal-looking ghosts, if you hit them, they give you an invulnerability period, which is pretty helpful when there's so much stuff on this screen. These guys are not too bad. Once again, so long as you just kind of shoot straight up, and if you have invincibility, you can pretty much just move to wherever you have to try to burn through as many of these guys as you can. Unfortunately, I have invisible enemies now, which is not great. But, and that guy hit me. I was trying to get him because that would have given... Oh, no! As I said, this game can be very trolly. So we're going to throw that. Thank you. Wow. Just really mean. Sometimes this game is. There we go. Can move my arm again. Lady Liberty cannot move her arm unless you shoot a torch that spawns flying across the screen. I have no idea why that is. And anytime you get hit, it takes that ability away from you. Okay. So now we're on to the last bit of the game here, and this is arguably the hardest set of stages in the game. You have to do 4 of these stages right in a row. This is all of the Ghostbusters. So you start with Ray Stans, and his museum stage is the easiest. But you'll notice that everything is just gray on gray on gray on gray. It is a gray Ghostbuster on a gray background with gray enemies. It's very easy to not see things, and it can be pretty punishing. If anything you don't see is gonna hurt you pretty bad. So, alrighty. Now we're on to Winston Zedmore. Gonna try to make sure that we clear all those ghosts out. We don't want them following us and hitting us from behind. That would be not nice of them. And trying to avoid getting hit by all of this stuff. It's easier said than done. There's a lot of stuff on the screen and a lot of ghosts trying to mess with me. Drop a trap for that big Slimer there. Whoa, hello. Almost missed those. Whew. They just throw a lot of stuff at you right in a row, and there's a lot of stuff that's hard to dodge, so you have to keep your head on a swivel in the museum. And we're going to play this a little safe. I know I have a ton of falls, but believe it or not, you can lose all 7 of those. Oh boy. As I said, you can lose all 7 of those very quickly. One mistake can cost you a lot of time. And it's very easy to get caught by hitboxes, so that's why we took it a little easy there at the end of the last stage, because it just gets harder from here. Spengler's stage is tough, but Vinkman's stage is far and away the hardest in the game. It's really brutal, and does not give you a lot of room for error, so we'd like to walk in there with quite a few extra lives if possible. Double big Slimers, because hey, why not? What are we working on right now anyways? So get to here. I'm gonna just trap all this candelabra here, or whatever this doohickey is that's flying around. We're gonna grab this guy too. Alright, and now Spengler's at Vigo. And now we're at Vinkman. I'll take this second to mention that little spider that's following me. I don't know why that spider follows you, but I do know that if he catches you, he takes one of your lives away, because he's a big jerk. So, oh, good. I was able to get under him because I mistimed my my trap. Okay. This is the way that I do this here. I take an intentional hit here because it's actually easier, usually, so long as you can get away from this Slimer here. Oh, man. That guy's just following me around. This could get really ugly. Ho-ho! Look at that. Got lucky. We're going to just try to trap all of those because I don't want to deal with them. And we'll trap these. I'm going to trap this too. We're just going to trap everything from here on out. And should be home free now, but we're going to take one last trap, set it up. And we're going to jump here, take an intentional hit, and run forward. And that is the game. That is how it ends. Vigo just disappears, and we get to hear some Auld Lang Syne. It is that is a tough game. Sorry, I didn't really look at chat a whole lot there. Kind of hard to pay attention to chat with, especially those last few stages. They are